Oh, hello, I'm Burt Green, this is the Burt Locker. This week I'm going to be looking, this is the Casuals Guide to UFC 293 coming our way this weekend. Generally it's more of an MMA show, but I do other bits and pieces as well, so feel free to check out the channel. Yeah, it feels like it's been a minute. Honestly, I'll be honest, I've been slacking a little bit. Well, not slacking, I've just been out doing things, honestly. So it's the first time I missed an episode this week. First time in a hot minute that I've done that, but I don't think it's been over a week because I did do my Casuals Guide last week. So I've still kept relatively consistent, but I've just been out doing things. Went to London, went to see Jackson Dean. Fantastic country artist. If you're into country music, or even if you're not, I would say check out Jackson Dean. I think their live stuff is better than their studio stuff. I just feel like they're live at the... If you check out Jackson Dean live at the Ryman, they're brilliant. Anyway, they were in London, what was it, Tuesday night? Absolutely unbelievable, unbelievably good. Brilliant little gig, little 300 capacity venue, garage in Islington. It was just top class night out. Jackson Dean, top class band. I can't believe that Jackson Dean's only 22. That's crazy. Like, he's gonna blow. He's gonna be huge. Like, you know, the sky's the limit for that guy. Natural, just a natural front man. Just absolutely brilliant. So yeah, no, I've been having a good time. I hope you have as well. And this is going to be Casual Guide to UFC 293. Effectively, what I like to do here, I'll go through the entire fight card from top to bottom, information on every fighter, every fight. I'll wrap it up in about 15-20 minutes, so you haven't got to spend all night trying to get all the information, but it's designed so that you have a bit more information on some of the more obscure names down the card, because you can, you've got a life, you've got stuff to do. So I'll do that bit for you. It's all good. Anyways, let's get cracking. So we're gonna... So we're going to start off in the welterweight division. You've got Kevin Jousset against Kiefer Crosby. 6'1", plays 5'10". Now, Jousset is not French, he's from New Zealand. I don't know why the UFC website has him as French. They must be stuck in UFC Paris last week or something, because he ain't. He's from New Zealand, city kickboxing guy. So anyway, he's tall for the weight class. He's got about 50% KO rate. He's city kickboxing. He's going to be pretty good, honestly. Crosby, he's 6 foot, he's not 5'10". Come on, UFC stat guys, what are you doing? Like, the UFC stats were all, the stat page was all over the place on their website this week. Poor show. Supposed to be the best organisation in the world, guys. Need to get it right. Anyway, he's 10-3. He's pretty good. He just knocked out Alex Oliveira in a different organisation, so that's a pretty good win. He's also Irish. I'm going to take the Irishman here. I feel like if he can knock out Alex Oliveira, he could probably knock out Jousset. Anyway, Shane Young then takes on Gabriel Miranda in the 145-pound featherweight division. You've got 5'8", playing 5'11", with a 1.5 inch reach for Young. Again, Young's a city kickboxing guy. Shock. You're going to see a lot of city kickboxing guys on this card. It's they're a good team. They've got a lot of good fighters, and they're the in thing. So obviously you're going to see a lot of them when they go to Australia. He's not bad, right? He's not had a great time in the UFC, though. 2 out of 4. You can fall behind on the scorecards, honestly. When he's looking for a big shot, he tends to look for that power shot a fair amount. Got Gabriel Miranda. He's a submission machine out of Brazil. 15 submissions on his record. He fought in the UFC once against Benoit Saint-Denis and lost that one, obviously, because Benoit Saint-Denis is an absolute savage. But for me, I think Miranda... I'm going to take the submission for Miranda in that one, just because I think it's going to be more even. Anyway, you've got Mike Desmond then taking on Charles Radke, the 170-pounders, welterweights, 5'11", plays 5'9". Mike Desmond is the Blood Diamond guy. He's the one who had loads of hype behind him. Why is he even here, right? All he does is lose. That's all he does. Why is he here? He came in, people say, oh, the Blood Diamond's like this bad, good, he's really good. No, he isn't. All he does is lose. Radke, 7-3, he's well-rounded. Radke, by any way that he wants, honestly. I like him by submission, rear naked choke. Blood Diamond is not good, dude. Anyway, that's the early prelims. Let's move on to the prelims. Don't forget to hit subscribe so that you kind of, hit the bell notification. We have a good time here. Content's dropping all the time, MMA related, comedy related. Sometimes I do film and TV previews as well. It's a lot of fun. There's good content. Just hit subscribe and yeah, that's it. Nasrat Hakparast taking on Landon Quinones, 155-pounders, lightweights, 5'10", plays 5'9", 1 inch reach for Hack. Now, Hakparast is lightweight Kelvin Gastelum. That's just what he looks like. He is pretty good, to be fair. He's well-rounded. He's got good hands, he's tough to beat. Quinones, 5 of 7 by knockout. He's got good hands if he's a little bit unproven in the UFC. Haqparast is a very tough debut for a fighter. He's probably too tough, honestly. I'm going to take Haqparast by knockout. That one's for me, live. Jamie Mullarkey then takes on John McDessie in the 155-pound lightweight division. 6 foot, plays 5'8", 6-inch reach for Mullarkey. Mullarkey is tough. He's a good all-rounder. He's got good hands. He's got a good chin. He's got a patchy record, though, because he just tends to get into wars and sometimes gets on the wrong end of them. John McDessie, I did not realise he is still fighting, honestly. He's been around for quite a long time. He's got a fun style, though. He throws bombs and he either dies on his shield. He wins spectacularly or loses devastatingly. That's what I like about John McDessie. I think Jamie Mullarkey should probably get this one, though. I think he's just slightly younger, probably just slightly more in the prime of his career. And then you've got Jack Jenkins taking on Chepe Maniscal, 145-pound division. So you've got 5'7", playing 5'7", 1-inch reach for Maniscal. Now Jenkins, he's got a sweet stash, he's got a sweet mullet, he's got sweet hands, he's got sweet submissions. I am a fan. I'm a fan of Jenkins, man. I really am. Maniscal, he's got no mullet. He's got no stash. He's got terrible eyebrows. He's got those things shaved in them. What is that? Boo! I'm going to take a Jenkins by KO in that one. Then you've got Carlos Alberg taking on Da Woon Hung. Jung. I don't know how to say it. Anyway, Da Woo Jung? I don't know. South Korean. This is in the light heavyweight division, 205 pounds. 6'4", plays 6'4" with a 1.5-inch reach for Jung. Alberg is as dangerous as he is handsome, and he is dangerous as fuck. Great kickboxing, good wrestling defense. He's probably got a good D in general. Like, looking at him, he looks like the kind of guy that would be hanging dong. I'm just saying, that's just the kind of impression I get. He's a real problem at 205 pounds, honestly. Now, Jung is also mainly a kickboxer. He's just not really as good as Alberg, not from what I've seen. He lost to Devin Clark, for God's sake. Alberg should murder this dude. If he doesn't, I'm going to be disappointed. Main card, then. So, also, just before I get into the main card, just a reminder, hit subscribe, hit the bell notification. Dropping content all the time. MMA related, comedy related, sports related. There's going to be a lot of NFL stuff, fantasy NFL, loads of stuff. Really, look, it's a fun time. So hit subscribe, hit the bell notification, lets you know when the videos drop. Then you've got Tyson Pedro taking on Anton Turkalj. Don't know how to say it. Turkalj. He's Swedish. He's from Sweden. 205-pound division. 6'3", plays 6'4" with a 1-inch reach for Tyson Pedro, sorry. Tyson Pedro, basically, he was the next big thing. At one point, he got injured. Now he's back. He's looking really good. He's been back in 2022 with 2 straight knockouts, and then he lost a close decision last time out to Modestas Bukauskas, who was also making his comeback from a big injury. Coming back from Cage Warriors, he's the Lithuanian English kickboxer. There was a lot of information there. Might have to rewind that. Anyway, Anton Turkalj, I don't know how to say that. He's called the Pleasure Man, which is fantastic. I love that. That is a nickname and a half. I am the Pleasure Man. I'm here to fix your pipe. No, that's a plumber. I'm the Swedish plumber. No, that doesn't work. He's the Pleasure. No, I'm going to stop. So I'm stopping there. Look, he's got decent kickboxing. He looked good on the Dana White Contender Series, and then they threw him to Jelton Almeida. That's not fair, dude. That isn't fair. Come on, Jelton Almeida's just... He's a monster. Look, I think that even so, I do think that Tyson Pedro is probably slightly better in every area than Turkalj or Anton. I'm just going to call him Anton. I think Pedro should get this one. I like him by submission. That's my pick on that one. Then you've got Justin Taffer taking on Austin Lane in the heavyweight division. 6 foot, plays 6'6" with a 6-inch reach for Lane. Now, Justin Taffer is not to be confused with Junior Taffer, even though both of them have very similar looking heads. They have similar looking physiques, similar looking tattoos, and they both knocked out Parker Porter. They are not the same guy, though. Although I've never seen them in the same place at the same time. Both Taffers are very, very similar, is all I'm saying. They're both tough brawlers. They've both got exactly the same fighting style, obviously. They're both brilliant to watch. I'm a big fan of both Junior and Justin Taffer, just to be clear. And then you've got Austin Lane. Austin Lane's a former NFL linebacker, so he's an elite level athlete. He's a gigantic man as well. 6'6", he's got power in both hands. He's got outstanding eye pokes as well. We saw that in the first fight because actually this is a rematch because Austin Lane won the first fight by vicious eye poke. I'm kidding, it was a no contest, but it was a great eye poke. If you're going to do an eye poke, do it like Austin Lane did. It didn't look that bad until like they zoomed in and you saw the blood trickling out of Justin Taffer's eye. It was nasty. Like, all jokes aside, glad that Justin Taffer's eye was okay. And I'm glad to see them run this one back. This is a fun fight. This has got fun written all over it, honestly. Could be fight of the night. They're just going to go out there and go smash each other. I like Taffer in this one. I do think that in a brawl, he probably takes it. But look, don't count out a former NFL athlete who's 6'6" and knows how to throw a punch. You just cannot count that dude out. Fun fight. Earmarking that for fight of the night. It might not be the most technical, but it's going to be fun to watch, so keep an eye out on that one. Manel Kape then takes on Felipe dos Santos, in the featherweight division. 145 pounds, 5'5", plays 5'7". Now Kape, he got all uppity with Kai Kara France at the press conference, and then he got uppity with Adesanya as well, which looked weird because Adesanya's obviously, you know, more or less a light heavyweight at this point. Now, he's got a fun style. He's got a fun fight style. He goes a bit up and down. He's got flying knees. He really does go for it on the feet, which I'm a big fan of. Then you've got Dos Santos. I didn't know much about this dude. I believe he's debuting in the UFC. I don't think we've seen him in there before. But either way, he is undefeated. He's out of Brazil. He's got 5 finishes on his record. So he's 7-0, undefeated. He's got mostly submissions. He fights out of Shooter Box in Brazil, but the Diego Lima. So I think he trains with Diego Lima. That's impressive. I smell an upset here because I believe that Manel Kape will be the favourite. But I smell an upset here. I'm going to go Dos Santos by decision, but by submission even in that one. I think he gets the submission because actually Kape has been caught in submissions previously. Then you've got the co-main event of the evening. Tai Tuivasa taking on Alexander Volkov in the heavyweight division. This is a fantastic fight. Just delicious matchmaking. Delicious. 6'2", plays 6'7", 5-inch reach for Tuivasa. Just kidding. The reach is obviously in favour of the 7-foot Russian. I got you there for a second though, didn't you? For a second you were like, how would Tuivasa have that reach? No, he doesn't. He doesn't. It's the reach is all in Volkov's favour. Look at the dude. Anyway, Tuivasa, he's a throwback of a fighter. He would be a bouncer in a nightclub if he wasn't in the UFC. He might still end up being a bouncer in a nightclub because I think he just enjoys like throwing down. You just tell you, he delivers some of the best fights you'll ever see. He's got very fast hands and his boxing is very technical. It's much more technical than you believe. His timing in and out is actually very, very high level. And because he gets into those brawls, because he's got a good chin, he just delivers some fantastic entertainment. He's an entertaining character as well. After he wins, he downs beers out of people's shoes after spitting them. They call it a shoey. It seems like an odd thing to, but you know, hey, each to their own. And look, he's just a fun guy. He's the kind of guy, similar to Volkanovski. I think that he would be fun to have a beer with. Honestly, I think he just seems like a great guy, and he's one of the most entertaining guys on the roster. I'm a huge fan of Tai Tuivasa, and every time I see him, I always hope he wins because he's just fun. He either wins spectacularly or loses devastatingly. And now let's get into his opponent. We've got Alexander Volkov, who is a monster, who gets a little bit overlooked, honestly, which is difficult to do because he's damn near 7 feet tall. He's not only 7 feet tall, but he's an elite level kickboxer. He's very big. He's so hard to take down because he is just so big, right? He uses body kicks really well. You see what he did to like guys like Overeem. He picks, when he's on form, he picks people apart and he hits people so goddamn hard and from such range that it's difficult for people to cope with. Now, as much as I want to see Tuivasa win this fight, I will be cheering for Tuivasa all the way. I think Volkov might put a hurting on him in this one, honestly. I think he's going to probably soften him up with body kicks. Because the problem with Tuivasa's style is he's got very fast hands. But we've seen the only guys that tend to give Volkov trouble. We saw obviously Tom Aspinall give him trouble. We saw Gane give him trouble. Both of those guys have one thing in common, which is they're very fast on the feet. They've got very, very fast footwork. Now, Tuivasa has very fast hands. His hand speed is fantastic, and actually, when he gets in the pocket, he moves in and out very, very well. But it's not like, but he doesn't move quickly with his feet. He's not, you know, like a twinkle toes kind of thing because he's quite a thick, heavy guy. I think his hand speed, if he gets inside, could cause problems for Volkov, but It's getting inside. That's going to be the problem. Like Garn and Aspinall were able to use their foot speed to get inside, and that's what caused all the problems for Volkov. And in order to beat Volkov, you have to make him you have to give him something to worry about. If you don't, he's going to just keep loading up on those teep kicks to the body, which he hits from across the other side of the octagon, basically. And I could see this, I could see that happening. I could see him just softening up with body kicks, like teep kicks. And then when he can see he's done enough damage, he'll then start going in with the big long jab and the straights over the top. And I think he might well put Tuivasa away. But I hope the opposite happens, honestly. It's not that I'm not a fan of Volkov. I'm such a huge fan of Tuivasa. I would love to see him win. I just think Volkov's going to be too difficult stylistically for him to take out. But I really hope I'm wrong. And I'm wrong often enough to still live in hope that Tuivasa is going to knock him out. But then you've got the main event of the evening. Israel Adesanya taking on Sean Strickland. Obviously, Israel Adesanya fighting out of New Zealand, Nigeria, China, and to be confirmed, Sean Strickland fighting out of the good old US of A. USA. Sean Strickland is, what a great character. The press conferences alone have been absolutely brilliant just to behold. Anyway, so the numbers. You've got 6'4" playing 6'1" with a 4-inch reach for Adesanya. Israel Adesanya, if you don't know him, he's the long-time middleweight champ on his second title run. He avenged his loss to Pereira with an insane knockout. His kickboxing is slick. He knows how to win. He doesn't always win spectacularly, but like when he gets the opportunity, he cleans people's clocks. But he's not a risk taker. He doesn't usually take massive risks apart from when they're put on him. Like Pereira took the risk to him. But then you've got guys like Cannonier. He's not taking risks against Cannonier. He doesn't have to. He can piece him up from the outside and win a decision. And that's what happens sometimes, right? Once he gets your timing, he might well kill you. He's very, very, very good. Sean Strickland has jumped the queue because Adesanya tried to force Dricus du Plessis to turn around in 60 days to fight him, which du Plessis did the right thing, not for nothing, because he earned his top spot. Like, nobody thought he would beat Robert Whittaker. I did. I put a bet on that. I won some money on that because I could see, because du Plessis, he's big and he's physical enough and he's got a style that's kind of difficult for people to read. And I do think he presents problems for Israel Adesanya, and I do think that they perhaps tried to get him to rush his camp to turn around quickly enough so that they could have an advantage. But that's neither here nor there. Du Plessis has earned that #1 contender spot because he's fought his whole way up and he took out Robert Whittaker, which very few people managed to do. Sean Strickland, of course, is taking this fight because there's no risk to him. He hasn't earned the #1 contender spot. He's just lucked into it. So he's got nothing to lose. He's walking in with nothing to lose, and that is very, very dangerous for Adesanya. He's fighting a guy who everyone, no one's really giving him a chance, right? And I don't think that that's the wisest move, honestly, because look, Strickland, he fights every day. Every day he spars. He's a sparring monster. He just loves staying in boxing range, talking shit and fighting. That's what he does. He fights every day. His timing in boxing range is almost second to... It's so good. His timing in boxing range is so slick. He's just inches out. And his timing to throw back. He doesn't have like one punch knockout power, but he does have power. You're a fool if you think he doesn't. He'll start... He doesn't... But by that same token, he doesn't overload with shots. He could do 20 rounds if he wanted to. And that's how he gets people. He'll clip you a few times. And then all of a sudden you're dizzy. Then he goes in and then he'll put you away with a TKO. And his timing in boxing range is absolutely phenomenal. He uses like a Philly shell, like a boxing guard, which is very unusual for MMA. But he makes it work, honestly. For me, prediction-wise here, I see an upset. I think that all it takes is for Adesanya to slightly overlook Sean Strickland, which is very possible because he does seem to think that Strickland is the clown, but he would be a fool to overlook him because he's dangerous, especially in boxing range. In boxing range, Strickland can easily win this fight. In kicking range, not so much. If Adesanya keeps this in kicking range, I feel like it could be a tough night at the office for Strickland, but my pick is going to be Sean Strickland. That's what I'm going to put my pick to. That's what I'm putting my name on. And that's it. That's the card. in just under 20 minutes, and you've got all the information you need. So don't forget to hit subscribe. I'll be doing some terrible bets on Saturday because I like to put some terrible accumulators on just for a laugh, and then we'll recap all these fights next week. Until next time, keep those odds long and those bets terrible.